101.9.
LIB, stand up. Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to LIB Future TV Monday edition. Hello. Thanks for joining us. We are live in our great city of Monrovia and across the country. We're also live on the social media. There's Facebook, there's YouTube, and anywhere else that you wish to find us. We are here with you. Welcome. Today is August 24th. As you know, it's Flag Day. Happy Flag Day to Liberians all over the world. Today we're going to have a really great show. We're going to be talking about, as you know, politics and current events in the country, but we'll start off by talking about Flag Day in our great country. I want to say a great good afternoon, good evening to everybody out there. Good evening, Tuzon. How are you doing this evening?
Good. Welcome again once more. It's been a while. Let me say happy Flag Day to you and the entire family out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, and happy Flag Day to you as well. And to Liberians out there, we want to hear from you later. We're going to open up the phone lines later on. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts concerning this great holiday, our great country? There's been some very interesting conversation over the years concerning Flag Day. You know, our great colors, red, white, and blue. I remember as a kid, growing up in Monrovia, Flag Day, man, in high school was a big deal. You know, you got to go to the BTC and to throw your eyes right and to keep your steps going. You know, those are fun days. Those are fun days for your friends out there. You know, the day you don't have to go to school, but you can just hang out with your friends. How is the weather out there, man? How is the weather? I know one thing I would tell you that every single year, Flag Day used to rain. Is it a rainy day there?
So from the morning, like 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock, the rain was cat and dog. The rain was heavy.
Yes.
But for now, it's a little bit okay, cease a little bit. So we expect people out there, you know, the BB people are in there, they can celebrate. So we just pray for good weather. So at least our people out there will celebrate the Flag Day. But please, when you celebrate it, just be safe out there. Just be safe. Yeah.
Yes, please, people, please be safe out there as you celebrate. You know, enjoy yourself, but don't enjoy yourself that you forget about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I know the rain now for the afternoon people. The rain for the student in the morning.
Yeah.
When if it flogging you, then it will go. Yeah. Then at the time, the cold sea breeze is not hitting you from BTC there. Man, I remember those days, man. Those are good times in Liberia. We are hopeful, we are prayerful that we will return to those times in Liberia once more. But as you guys know, it's 7:04, almost 7:05. We have our dear sister. I believe she's ready to go.
Okay.
So, Sis Lavera, how are you? Happy Flag Day. Hope you are doing well. If you are ready, you can definitely go on with your headlines. Are you okay there, Lavera? Okay, we'll go on for now, and I think I see her. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Lavera. Can you hear me now?
I have to go back.
Okay, hold on 1 second here. Let me just. Okay, there you go. Can you hear me?
Now?
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly right now. I can hear you perfectly. So you can take it away. Happy Flag Day, and you can go ahead with the headlines.
Okay.
All right. Seems like we're having a little
All
bit of
right, it is
issue.
much better, right?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Go right ahead.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. You sure I'm okay? You sure I'm okay? Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right. I can hear you. I can hear you. All right. What we'll do, we'll have the video go out and come back in, and we'll see if we can take it from there. But like I was saying, Liberians out there, Flag Day, high school many years ago. You know, I'm not young boy. I've been around for a while now. But many years ago, man, it was great time. You go out there with your boys. Everybody. For one day in a year, you get to go out to BTC and pretend that you're Army man. Sometime after that, we go to the system, where they would judge all of the different schools, and then they announce the winner. That won, and then what they have first place, second place, third place. Um, yes, I still remember those are very very good days, man. Very good days. I remember one of the high competing school was Tottenham High. Tottenham High, yeah. Tottenham. The first thing they were plenty. When I got enter BDC, the general what battalion. They got them were plenty, yes. But it was good times, man. And you would compete, and then you would see your friends from different school. Zion, MC, Cathedral, AGM, just different schools. There's so many young people. When you see young people together like that, you are actually witnessing the future of Liberia. Um, and now, as I look across our landscape right now, whether political, private, I still see the same people. You know, I still see the same people we used to see. It's amazing that these are the people now that are senators, they are representatives, they are business people. These were all kids back then. 15, 16, 17-year-old kids in BTC. Having some fun. I think Lavera has joined us again. Lavera, are you there? Let's hear your audio. Are you doing okay? Okay, I think we're having a little bit of issue there with Lavera. All right. So we might have to scrap this for today, and we'll give it another try again tomorrow and see how that goes. For sure. Lavera, thank you so much for your effort. We know the internet issues in Liberia are very challenging.
Yeah.
But thank you for your efforts. We'll give it we'll test it out again later on, and we'll give it a shot for tomorrow. Thank you so much. But for you all out there, please turn your radio dials a little bit up, a little bit higher. Call people closer, and if you're on social media, please share the show, share the links, invite people in, and let's have a great time. Let's have a great time. Um, so as we talk, the history of Liberia cannot be written, without discussing the flag of Liberia, right? It's part of it. And we used to hear all the time as growing up, Susanna Lewis, Susanna Lewis, Susanna Lewis. And the story of the flag, um, and the different meanings of the Liberian flag and everything, that was involved in it. Um, so there's just some base. One of the things I like to do, I don't know if Lepede wants to try one more time. One of the things I like to do is I feel like it's always important. It's always important to get history right. It's very important to get history right. It's very important for us to teach history to our younger people that are coming up. Um, so it's always great. I think Lavera is trying to join us once more. We can give it one more shot. See if Lavera, can you hear me? Okay. Okay.
I'm hearing you. Am I live?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are live. The people of Liberia are listening to you right now as we speak. So if you are ready, you can definitely go ahead with your headlines, and then I will come back after that.
All right. Good evening and welcome to LIB Future TV. Today's trending news update with me, Victor Davis. ANC calls for impartial investigation amid Joel Howard Taylor arrest. The Alternative National Congress (ANC) has called on the government of Liberia to ensure fairness and strict adherence to the rule of law following the arrest of former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor in connection with ongoing transitional cocaine investigation. In a statement issued Monday, August 24, the Alternative National Congress said Howard Taylor, as a former vice president and opposition leader, is entitled to constitutional protections, due process, dignity, and presumption of innocence. The party stressed that the allegations against her should be determined through the courts rather than what it described as public spectacle, political maneuvering, or trial by media. While supporting efforts to dismantle narcotics networks operating through Liberia, the NC warned that justice must be applied equally to all individuals suspected of involvement, regardless of political affiliation or government positions. The party expressed concern over what it described as a perception that the government is targeting individuals associated with the former Congress for Democratic Change (CDC), while questions about alleged involvement of individuals connected to the ruling Unity Party administration remain unanswered. The NC noted that a major drug seizure occurred 3 years into the current administration and pointed to public statements by Liberia's Inspector General of Police indicating that senior government officials had allegedly been implicated in the matter. The opposition party is therefore demanding an independent, transparent, and credible investigation into the entire narcotics network. It wants investigators to follow the evidence where it leads and identify anyone who may have financed, facilitated, protected, transported, or otherwise participated in the alleged criminal operations. The ANC also called for equal application of the law, protection of the constitutional rights of all persons under investigation, and transparent disclosure of the full scope of the narcotics operation. Justice, not partisan politics, must direct the actions of the state, the NC said, adding that no one should be above the law or beneath its protection. The statement was signed by NC Secretary General Desmond U.J. Nimley and approved by National Chairperson Councillor Laviet Gold. Nima County Representative Ta Wongwe dedicates Vola Public School. Nima County District Number 9 Representative Ta Wongwe has dedicated the newly completed Volley Public School, describing the occasion as a celebration of hope, community, and a commitment to the education of children. The delegation ceremony brought together residents of Volley, including children, parents, elders, teachers, community leaders, and other stakeholders who gathered to celebrate the completion of the school project. In a message following the ceremony, Representative Wongwe expressed gratitude to everyone who contributed to making the project possible, including those who provided financial support, labor, prayer, encouragement, and guidance. My heart is full, Wongwe said, describing the large turnout of community members as deeply humbling. The District Number 9 lawmakers said the project represents more than the dedication of a physical structure, emphasizing its broader significance to their community and its children. Today was bigger than dedicating a building. We dedicated a dream. We dedicated hope. We reminded our children that they matter, Wongwe said. Musa S. Kamara donates school supplies to children in Tusa Field community. Vice Chair for Mobilization of the Citizens Movement for Change, Honorable Musa Kamara, has donated educational supplies to school-going children in the U-Curve Tusa Field community. Kamara made a donation earlier today after accepting an invitation extended through Fala Blading of the U-Curve Tusa Field community. The initiative is aimed at helping struggling families meet the educational needs of their children as the new academic year approaches. The donation is intended to ease the financial burden on parents and ensure that children return to school adequately prepared for the new academic term. Speaking during the presentation, Kamara emphasized the importance of supporting students who lack basic educational materials. Nigeria Bar Association honors former Liberian President George Weah. The Nigerian Bar Association has honored former Liberian President George Mani Weah during a gathering in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, where he served as keynote speaker. The event brought together members of the legal profession and provided an opportunity for the former Liberian leader to address the association and share a message centered on excellence, dedication, and service. In recognition of his participation and contribution to the gathering, the Nigerian Bar Association presented Weah with a token of appreciation, expressing gratitude for his presence and willingness to engage with its members. Delivering his keynote address, Weah encouraged legal professionals to remain committed to excellent professionalism and dedicated service in the discharge of their responsibilities. His message was warmly received by members of the association who thanked the former president for his words of encouragement and pledged to continue striving for excellence in their profession. The recognition adds to Weah's engagement with regional and international institutions following his presidency. Justice Ministry rejects claims linking Minister towards vehicles to drug cartel. The Ministry of Justice has rejected allegations by activist Martin Colley that the official vehicle assigned to Justice Minister Oswald Twe was allegedly provided by a drug cartel through the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police. The ministry said the vehicle, a white Toyota Land Cruiser, Prado bearing government plate number 013, is legitimate government property assigned to Minister Twe for the performance of his official duties. According to the ministry, the vehicle was assigned to the Justice Minister following a formal request submitted by the Ministry of Justice to the Liberian National Police on November 10, 2025. It said the assignment was carried out through established government procedures and was not connected to any private individuals or organization. The ministry further explained that the Toyota Land Cruiser Prado was part of a fleet of vehicles purchased by the government at a total cost of approximately 1.5 million United States dollars. The fleet included 10 Toyota Land Cruiser Prados procured for use by the Liberian National Police. The Justice Ministry described Colley's allegation linking the vehicle to a drug cartel as false and unsupported by evidence. And strong Pan-African questions government's commitment to drug fight. Staunch Unity Party partisan strong Pan-African has questioned the government's commitment to combating illegal drugs amid ongoing allegations and public debate surrounding Liberia's narcotics investigation. Banapikin, reacting to evidence being presented by activist Martin Colley, said the response from officials of the ruling Unity Party has raised concerns about the government's sincerity in addressing the drug situation. With all the pieces of evidence Martin Ken Colley is providing and seeing government and ruling Unity Party officials attacking him, I can clearly state that our rescue government is pretending to fight drugs, Bonapiki wrote. His comments come as Colley continues to make public allegations and present what he describes as evidence related to Liberia's ongoing drug controversy. That was a little new update from Liberia. My name is Lavella Davis. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Lavetta. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great Flag Day. Have a quiet evening and have a safe night. And we will join you again next week on the Monday edition. Have a great night, Lavetta.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, people. So there you go. You had your headlines. You are up to date on everything that is happening in our 43,000 square miles. There's a lot happening. We will talk about, trust me, today we will talk about the drug issue. We will talk about the arrests that have been made, the accusations, the rumors, counter rumors, accusations, threats. We will discuss those things, and we will have an opportunity to hear what you have to say. All right. But for now, how about we continue to talk about this great holiday, August 24th. What we know to be Flag Day. There are several great holidays in Liberia, right? Of course, the very first one has to be 26, right? 26 helped create Liberia. 26 is our founding, not 1822. No, it's July 26, 1847, when we declared ourselves a sovereign nation and able to rule and govern ourselves and decide the direction of our country and the future of its citizens. So, of course, as you know, after July 26, 1847, independence was declared, a new state was born, a flag had to be created. A flag was a symbol that you will carry around, that you will lay stake to, that when people saw, they knew, that, okay, we recognize there's a symbol that we recognize that represents a nation. So there were seven women that were tasked with this, this effort. And, a lot of times we hear about Susanna Louise, and it just kind of ends there. The first thing, Susanna Louise was not the only person, right? There was Susanna Louise and 6 other women. In fact, President Joseph Jenkins Roberts, handed over that executive task to create a flag. And so we want to know, who are these other women that were involved in this? All right. So first of all, let's talk about Susanna Louise first. Okay. Susanna Louise was not just somebody to pick off the street and just say, oh, y'all go look for one seamstress, let her can't sew the flag. No, nobody should lie to you. That's not how it went down, people. Susanna Louise was the sister to Mrs. Roberts. Okay? Her sister, Susanna Louis' sister, was married to Joseph Jenkins Rao. Okay? So technically, she was in the first family. That's the first thing. And a lot of people don't know this. You know, they're not aware that this is what occurred. They just assume that, something just happened along the way and that's how it happened. No. Not that, not even close. Okay. So that's the first thing. That's the first link of Susanna Louis. The second one is that Susanna Louis was not even born in Liberia. She came on the ship. She migrated to Liberia. Okay. And she was married to Johnny Lewis. You guys have heard that name a lot, and Johnny Lewis, right? So before there was our own Chief Justice, Johnny Lewis, there was Hipa, and all of them kind of carried the name down. So the original John Lewis was one of the people that wrote, okay, that how do you want to say it? That penned, okay, our Declaration of Independence and all of the documents that went along with that. So she was married to one of those guys. Then her sister was married to the president. So now, not small woman in the community that they just pick from anywhere, just say, oh, go bring one woman, I'll just put it. No. Okay. Other than her, as you know, there was Matilda Nupo. There was Sarah Draper. Okay. Who else was there? There was Rachel Johnson, Mary Hunter, Colinette Teach. Now that name Teach. I know you guys have heard about Hillary Teach, right? Okay. Now Hillary Teach's daughter. That was one of those. So these are the people who they brought together and said, please, can you create a flag? And so these women went to work shortly after independence. And on August 24th, they felt satisfied that they had put together something that they could then unfurl to the people. So they called a huge gathering in Monrovia. It wasn't a small event. Everybody who was somebody was there. Everybody who was somebody was there. And they unfurled, they unrolled, they displayed for the first time, August 24th, 1847, the flag of Liberia. And Susanna Louis didn't just display the flag, she gave a speech. I have searched for that speech far and wide. I have been unable to locate it. But she spoke that day. And she talked about the flag, what the colors meant, what the women were thinking as they stitched, where, what went where. All of that process, the emotional task of it, she spoke on it. Some people like to say she breathed life into the flag. But she spoke that day. And on August 24th, Liberia had a flag. So when the British came to lay claim to Cape Mount, Liberia posted their flag and said, this is a sovereign nation. You shall come no further. When the French came into Nimba, Liberia posted a flag and said, you will come no further. This is sovereign land. And so that flag that you look at every day determined the boundaries that we see today in the country. And then we started to place those flags on ships. a lot of people think that Liberia just started flying ship, flags on ship, get a few days with maritime. No, 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 no. Many, many, many years ago, the flag of Liberia was displayed on ships. During those times when we used to export rice, grain, pepper, I did not stutter, I didn't make a mistake. During those times when Liberia used to export rice, today you won't even be able to recognize that this nation, once upon a time, used to export rice to the rest of the world. But we did. At one point in time in Liberia's history, we were rice exporters. Today we have become solely rice importers. But we remain resolute that we will return to those days. But back to our flag, right? So you have these women: Rachel, Mary, Sarah, Colinette, Matilda, and JB. So the flag, the flag is raised. Now Liberia has a flag. It is adopted. And then in 1915, President Daniel E. Howard basically declared 1915, declared August 24th, not just any day, but an official public national holiday to celebrate our flag. 1915 was the first year that Liberia celebrated August 24th as a holiday. Okay? So if anybody asks you when the voting started, tell them it's been 111 years Liberia has celebrated. Okay? August 24th. That's Flag Day. And that started with Daniel E. Howard. Okay. And then after Liberia declared that, the man who will become president later on, Edwin James Barclay, okay, wrote what we like to almost say that's our second national anthem, the Lone Star Forever. When he was only 19 years old, he wrote those verses for that song. So he was not president when he did that. He was just a 19-year-old kid running around in Monserrato there, Cruiserville era. Where he from Cruiserville. Running around in Cruiserville, Curiousville era there, and he sat down and he penned those words. The Lone Star, what will come to know as the Lone Star Forever. That we sing when Lone Star play football, and we go to some national events where we say, okay, today we won't sing the national anthem, we'll sing the Lone Star Forever. And those words still resound with us. All right. And then later on, as we all know, Edwin James Barclay will become president later on. And today, we still have our flag. We've had our ups and downs, we've had our quarrels, but one of the things that Liberians, we've for the most part, united around is the flag. Whether it's our national team, the Lone Star, which derives its name from the flag, okay? Or whether it's our national colors, red, white, and blue, which once more comes from the flag. A lot of people, they don't make the connection. Oh, Liberia Lone Star, Liberia Lone Star. They didn't even understand that name derived from the flag. With all that flag, with all that single star on the flag, we will not call our team Lone Star. Without those women talking about red, white, and blue, that wouldn't be our national colors. Today they will wave the flag, wave the flag. But it's always been a symbol of hope, symbol of unity. And we'll come to this. I want you guys to think about this as we come to this, people. Quite recently, we have heard talk from people who are saying the flag now is not inclusive of everybody. And that we need to change the flag. I want to hear from you all. What are your thoughts? Do you think we should change the flag? Do you think the flag of Liberia needs to be changed? Don't rush now. Hold on. We'll come to that. Okay? I'll open the lines later on, and that's what I will hear from you all. What are your thoughts concerning the flag of Liberia? Okay? But let's continue for now. Let's continue. So that is where we are, right? So as we talk about our current events, as we talk about the politics in play, as we talk about the drug epidemic that is raging through our country, think about our flag that was there from the very beginning and where it has brought us so far. And is it really our issue? Is this really what is dividing us? Or is it something much deeper than that? So just keep that in mind, right, as we go on. So today in Liberia, one of the main topic is the drug epidemic. I saw a report that said 2 out of every youth is on drugs. That's 20% of the youth population. So before you even just imagine, Liberia has a youth population. That means that there are more young people than old people in the country. There are more young people than old people in the country. Then after you tell me that, then you come back and tell me, say, the young people that are in the country, 20% of them on drugs. That's an epidemic. If I came to you, God forbid, and say 20% of the people in the country have AIDS, that's an epidemic. If I tell you, say 20% of the country, God forbid, 20% of the people in the country, 20% of the youth in the country, whichever way you want to put it, have Ebola, that's an epidemic. So when somebody tell you 20% of the young people in the country are on drugs, that's an epidemic. That is an epidemic. What are we doing about it? You've heard about the drug busts that has happened. You've heard about arrests being made. And of course, the most high profile arrest so far, up to date, has been our former vice president, our former senator, our former first lady, Joel Howard Taylor. Now, what we learned so far was that Madam Taylor was on her way out of the country. She was intercepted and informed that she was not allowed to leave. And later, we were informed that she had been invited to the police station. And then we were informed that she had been charged. And there was a list of charges. I don't want to go through everything because basically, a lawyer just took the whole charge book and just threw it at that woman. That's how it really looked, to be honest with you. It looked like they just took the whole charge book and threw it at her. But she was charged. And we later heard that she was taken to the hospital. So first, she was stopped from leaving. She was invited to the police station. Then it was insisted that she come to the police station. Then she was charged. Then she ended up in the hospital. And then we've heard about others along the way as well, right? There's a list of names. I'm not going to go down all the names. People are high-profile people. I talk about Joelle Taylor because she's a high-profile person. She is the political leader of the National Patriotic Party. She is the vice tenor bearer for the Coalition of Democratic Change. She is the number 2 person in the opposition. I mean, you want to talk about that kind of person, right? But that's where, that's where it has come to. And then quite recently, as you guys have noticed, the IG, our police director, Greg Como, has been accused of being compromised by advocate Martin Colley. And then one of the things that's been really, really funny in this whole thing is that when the accusation goes towards the opposition, like for example, when the accusation is against Joelle Howard Taylor, then all the United Party people be cheering. All the government officials be posting on Facebook. They be celebrating. Then, when those accusations are pointed towards a member of the government or a Unity Party sympathizer, then all the Unity Party people got questioned. They want clarification. They want, the person needs to stop and all those kind of things we hear. It's very, very, very comical. For those of us who we don't have any fish to fry in our oil, we continue to insist that the investigation continue and that Liberia, what is better for Liberia, be maintained. If it means that BB people there in drugs will have to go to jail, they go to jail. If it means that BB people then in things that they shouldn't be in, and therefore, they will get caught up in things, they will get caught up in things. But it should also mean that we'll not play politics with this, right? We're not going to exact revenge on this, right? That we will not allow political rivalry. One thing I noticed, I tell you all the times I don't live long time, right? One thing I noticed whenever there's political upheaval in the country, people use it to carry out personal vendettas. I remember many, many years ago, November 12, 1985, what became known as the November 12 invasion. Many innocent people died that day. Not because they were involved in anything, but just because other people didn't like them. And so they chose that opportunity to exact revenge. Maybe the person took their job. Maybe they were working in the same office and they were stealing, and the person went and reported them and they fired them. Whether the two of them were in the same office and they promoted the next person and they didn't promote them, whether they felt that that person was blocking their promotion or, or their progress for many petty things. And we cannot allow this drug fight to evolve into that, where people start to seek petty revenge and political vendettas, against each other. Oh, so they're talking about drug, I'll just call somebody name. And by the time they figure it out, then everything finished passing me. We cannot do that, right? We have to make sure that we do things the right way. But that's where we are. That is where we are. We continue to push for better things for Liberia. We continue to demand better things for Liberia. But yet, when the opportunity presents itself, this is where we find ourselves, right? We talk about, we want better security, we want better streets. But then, when we say, okay, we want to fight the war on drugs, and then they start calling our friend and me, then we start looking for excuses. How do we, as a people, move forward? How do we create change when we are fighting the change itself? How do we? We still want a war on drugs. But then when we have the war on drugs, then we start using that now to go after political opponents. So then how do we move forward as a people, man? How do we get things done? And this is why some of us continue to demand strong leadership. That's why some of us continue to demand better leadership. Because with better leadership, we are able to get to that place that we need to get to. If we have a strong leader that can look those things in the face and make decisions that better the lives of Liberians without fear or favor, without political implications, then we'll start to get somewhere. We will. So even though we are in 2026 and we have 3 years before we get to 2029, Liberians, do not forget days like this when you needed a strong leader. Don't forget it. Those things should be in the back of your mind. You are sitting there contemplating and trying to decide who you are going to vote for. Because your vote matters. Your vote matters. Don't be fooled. Your vote matters. Those are the things that decide on days like this. Those are the things that decide. So then, we've talked so far about Flag Day. We've talked about the beginnings. And we asked the question, don't forget, concerning the change. There are those in our midst who are demanding that the flag be changed. Should it be changed? Why should it be changed? What should it be changed to? And what would that solve? What will that solve? How would that help us make progress? Is the question. You can change anything. You can work in the money. You can change your share, you change your tracé, you change your underwear. But the question is, what did that change bring you? right? What does that change bring you? So, in a little while, at the top of the hour, we'll open up the lines and we'll hear from you. Okay. But we've also talked about the drug issues in the country. You know, Martin Colley now is putting his on a press release up. Then the Justice Ministry come with them on a press release. Then the Liberal National Police come with them on a press release. So now we're getting in the war of press releases. That's where we are right now, in the war of press releases. And what makes me very nervous, my people, is that I remember just a short time ago, we were talking about the Foya Mansion. And then just a short time before that, we were talking about the Capitol building fire. And just a short time before that, we were talking about asset recovery, the Samuel Twer case, Yeke Koloba being expelled, and like many things in our country. It just left along the way, sir. It just left along the way, sir. Today, when you ask anybody in Liberia, so what became of the Capitol building fire? Nothing. Nothing became of the Capitol building fire. So what became of Yeke expulsion? Nothing. They expelled me. They said, "Man, I'm coming in the building. They're not giving him a paycheck." But at the same time, they have not declared his seat open or vacant. They have not written to the National Election Commission to declare his seat open. So it's just what it puts it in limbo. That's where it's at right now. And what we cannot do, my people, we cannot allow the drug war, the war on drugs, to end up the same way. We cannot do that. Everything else in the country. Criminals in our country, you know what they say to themselves all the time? Oh, let them put up, man. How long? 2 weeks, they'll find something else to talk about. And that's how our country is. And we have to refuse that. And we have to push these people to be accountable. We have to push them to be accountable. The drug has taken over 20% of our youth population. What is the importance of our youth population? They are the future. If you were here with me when I talked about Flag Day, I talked about how me as a teenager during Flag Day being at BTC, right? I would look across, I would see Nathaniel McGill, I would see Lester Tenney, I would see Amos Twer. I would see all these people were teenagers out there on Flag Day.
Okay.
Today, they are our leaders. They are senators, they are ministers, they are representatives. Or Sibo. I remember Sibo clearly. You know, people can get old. Yeah, you see Sibo looking there. Just see Sibo looking what teenager. Sibo can get old. Yes.
Wow.
But you know, these are the people. And so when we see our young people today, these are the people we're going to be looking at 30, 40 years from now as senators, representatives, ministers, president. These are the people we're going to see. So when we see drugs devastating their lives, it's not only humbling, it's scary. It's scary that this is happening. It's scary. Because these are our future leaders. And every time drug takes one of them, you have to ask yourself the question, who would that child have become? Was he going to be president one day, or vice president one day, or senate contempt one day, or speaker, or minister, or a businessman, or maybe the first Liberian multi-billionaire? You never know with these things. So the best thing you can do is to protect the youth. Give them an opportunity. When people are younger, young people, all young people make stupid mistakes. That's just part of being young. You learn along the way. So we out here, we get draft from up, and all of the knowledge we have now, we just had it in our head. No, we have to experience things. We have to make mistakes.
Sure.
And we're protected. The people around us, all our ear, come our head. And along the way, we learned things. We became wise. We became wiser. We became more experienced. So today, we can make good decisions. So the young people today, they're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old, who aren't being given a chance because they're hooked on drugs. You can't blame those people. I didn't grow up in that kind of environment. When I was growing up, drug was not prevalent to the society. There was a little bit, passing around here and there. You could hear it, whispers, but it wasn't prevalent. It wasn't prevalent, so we were safe from it. Now it is everywhere. It's everywhere. And then to compound that, right, you have the frustration of lack of progress. When I went to school, when I entered high school, I was bold enough to apply, right, for a spot at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. That was how far my brain was thinking. But it's not something that I just woke up one day. I was listening to other people around me talk about what they wanted to do. People wanted to be engineers, civil engineers, architectural engineers. People wanted to be doctors, nurses, lawyers. This was the conversation, and people had plans on how they're going to go about it. Oh, when I'll go to this place, I'll get my journalism degree. When I'm done with that, I'll enter Louis Arthur Graham School of Law. And once I'm done with that, then I will apply. I'll apply to Harvard, I'll apply to Yale, I'll apply to Princeton, so I can get a scholarship to get my JD. People have plans. And when you sit among people like that, you're forced to make plans. There's no way you can make plans for your own life. You're forced to make plans because that is the conversation. Now, young people in our country, you graduate from high school, nothing. When I was in high school, vacation time, I used to go to work. I used to work vacation job. There was work available, vacation job. My friend and somebody used to work to a ministry of education, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Public Work. They have vacation program there. They give you a little thing at the end of your vacation. See that whether you want to buy your next sneaker or you want to buy a shoe or whatever, do that one. Some people used to go work vacation job at Coca-Cola factory. Some people used to go Omega station. Some people used to go VOA. There were just so many places. All you had to do was just apply yourself. And there was a job there for you to do. Some people used to go work in stores. Different store in Benson Street, club beer factory, chicken soup factory, shoe factory. Zinc factory. There was just anywhere there was just vacation job. Youth in Liberia growing up during my time, they didn't just sit around during vacation time. They found something to do. Somebody used to even open their own business and sell. One of my men used to let selling business. Couldn't wait to get out of school just so you can sell. Yeah, you should let quick man. You want to buy in here, right? When you want to wait until 30-day pass. So that I'm a main operation. But the thing of the matter is that the people were productive. Now there's a sense of frustration in the country because even people that graduate from college, and I'm not just talking about LU, whether you went to Mary Patton, you went to Stella Maris, you went to Smart University, or Zion University, AME University, UMU University, any kind of U you can think about. The people graduate, they get no job. No job. They turn around and go back to school again for another 2 years. They get a master's. They leave from there again. No job. It's frustrating as a young person. It's frustrating. Yeah, our Oppo always will say, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So if you just leave a young person just idle every day, they will start to get into things they don't need to get into.
Sure.
And they start trying things they don't need to try. And then before you know it, now you say, oh, my son, my nephew, he started a drug thing. I don't know what thing. That boy come from Google. I don't know what thing made him get into that thing. Is frustration and boredom. Solve those two things for the young people. Keep them active. Keep them involved. The government has a choice. You can either spend money rehabbing people and spend money building new jails, or you can spend money keeping the young people busy. The choice is yours. If you think it's expensive to create workforce program for young people, wait until they tell you how much it costs to rehab them and to keep them in prison. Then you will see which one is more expensive. But we'll talk about the drug thing more. We have hit the top of the hour. Tucson, please.
Yeah.
Our first topic that we talked about was the flag. The flag,
Okay.
we talk about Susanna Louis, talk about Matilda Nipo, we talk about Rachel, we talk about Sarah, we talk about Colinette, we talk about JR, we talk about all those people, right? But one of the things that keeps lingering in our conversation is that there is this call that some individuals in our community, in our society, even in our political sphere, for the flag to be changed. Some people feel that they aren't represented. They didn't have a say in how the flag is supposed to be at that time, right? And so they feel that the flag is, when they talk about the unity of the flag, they talk about the unifying nature of the flag, they feel that they are not a part. They feel that the flag doesn't unify them. And so therefore the flag needs to be changed. I want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Do you think the flag of Liberia needs to be changed, and why? What's your argument why? And if you think it needs to stay the same, and you have a reason why you feel it should stay the same, please let us know. Susan, let's go to the phone line. Let's see if we can get a couple of people on, and let's see if we can discuss our flag on August 25th.
All right. So, listeners out there, you were listening to Michael Padmo this lovely Monday night, marks the 24th of August. Our topic for today, we're talking about the August 24th Flag Day. Yes, and couples of other topics, especially when it comes to the drugs. But if you want to be part of the platform tonight, number to call is 0777 959 959, 0777 959 959, 0881 871 670 are the numbers to call and then be part of the platform, the LIB Feature TV, this lovely August 24, which marks our Flag Day. So call now and be part of the platform. Let's make it interactive. 0777 959 959, 0777 959 959, or better still 0881 871 670 are the numbers to call and then be part of the platform.
Okay, thank you so much, Tucson. Thank you so much. So as I was saying, we'll continue discussing, and if you get a chance to call in, please definitely call in, okay. And we will definitely stop and we'll get you on to hear your piece, okay, on what's going on. But back to the drug issue that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay. So now as we all can attest to, the young people are affected the most. And this is why. Because they are bored. They don't have much to do. You know, a young person they need to keep busy. Their minds demand, you know, they demand a lot of interaction, a lot of activity. And they don't have that, then they seek it other places. So we can't just fight the war on drugs through the Ministry of Justice. Doesn't work that way. When you do, you arrest all the youth and put in jail. It doesn't work that way. That cannot be our main focus. Yes, criminal justice has to play a role. But how much effort are we giving to youth involvement, youth empowerment? How much effort are we giving to that? To get to the youth that have not indulged in drugs yet. School has closed, graduation is coming again. Thousands and thousands of young people are going to graduate out of college. Thousands and thousands of young people are going to graduate out of high school. What is the plan? What is the national plan of the government to engage these young people? Give them a sense of hope that there is better things for you. What is the plan? There is none. Then what do you expect to happen? What is the fate of these young people? So don't get me wrong, right? Craig Coleman, Oswald Twain, they have a role to play. They have a role to play. But the Minister of Youth and Sports has her role to play. The Minister of Education has her role to play. And you can go on and on down the list. And just as much focus as the Ministry of Justice and the Liberian National Police are getting, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Ministry of Education are supposed to get that same level, if not more. If not more. To be able to get to where we are going. To be able to engage these young people into doing something better with their lives. It's important that we do it that way. So we keep hearing these accusations back and forth, right? Oh, Joel Howard Taylor did this. Oh, Joel Howard Taylor did not do this. Now it's on our IG, Greg Coleman. But Greg Coleman is not the first casualty, or would not be the first casualty from the government, right? We heard about others. The LDA boss had to recuse himself. The deputies have to recuse themselves. I mean, this is just crazy. It's almost as if the entire security apparatus has been compromised. So, should Greg Coleman keep his job? Should Greg Coleman step aside? Should Greg Coleman recuse himself from this particular investigation to keep the sanctity of the investigation? Or do we think that he is still in a good position to carry on this investigation? What are Liberians thinking when it comes to this? And then we start hearing about others, right? And then we see the usual platters coming on stage. I saw my brother Henry Costa the other day. I haven't seen him for a long time. And I saw him on a podcast. And I'm like, oh, what bring Henry Costa also? You know, but he was there defending other people.
Sure.
When Joe Howard Taylor was arrested and charged, we saw the Bonkante come outside. The Bonkante people came outside, the people came outside and said, "Nah, I want daughter." Not our daughter. And that's what we are. So now the people say, "You want to touch our daughter?" And then the other people on the other side say, please, leave Sekou alone, leave Greg alone, leave the person alone. So who will touch now? All the while, what's happening to the youth? All the while, what's happening to the youth? And we're just spinning. And nobody wants to ask the question. How do we move forward from here? Right? How do we move forward from here? One of the things I have to touch base on. First of all, let me compliment the government of Liberia, the security apparatus, even though they have been under extreme pressure, even though there has been break in their ranks, even though we know they are ill-equipped, they lack the logistics and even the manpower to do what they are doing, but they are trying, right? Whether it is through the support of the international partners, or whether it's by their own efforts, they're getting some victories, right? We're able to seize, 19 million. They will turn around and seize over 300 million again. We got some good victories.
Yeah.
So we'll give them that, right? We'll give them that the first time. But even though we are giving them these kudos, we have to continue asking ourselves, is that everybody they've got? Are there more? Would y'all heard about the ship on the sea, right?
Yeah.
LIB, my people. We heard about the ship that on the sea.
Yeah.
1 minute the ship was there. The next minute the ship was not there again.
The other minute the ship lost.
What ship? Ship just lost. Whether the ship had drugs,
No.
whether it key for drugs, whether it was bringing drugs, we have no idea.
Sure.
We have no idea. But unfortunately, we keep hanging on to what we don't know and the people who are able to give us that information. So, we are hanging on to Martin. We are hanging on to Rodney CA. We are hanging on to all the other people then who are not in our security apparatus, but somehow they continue getting the information and they continue providing the information. It's funny how when Rodney called our knee and say, "Oh, that man has been compromised." Then after 1 week, the president will dismiss the person who Rodney talked about. So which one? Rodney talking the truth or Rodney not talking the truth? They say, "Oh yeah, the president is on his game." But we'll continue following those things. Okay? We'll continue following those things. Like I said, we won't just talk about the current events. We'll talk about the things that passed. And it seems like nothing has been done. And every single time, every single morning when we come here, we will voice those things out. So that the Liberian people are reminded that those things have not been solved. So that the Liberian people are reminded that there is much to do. So we talked about the capital building fire. We talked about Representative Yeke Kolba being expelled and nothing come out. We will not forget the Foyer Marshal that nobody knew about. Until it was proven. The Foyer Marshal that when they asked the Minister of Public Works, he said, you go ask the Executive Marshal. When they asked the Press Secretary, she said, no, nothing about it. But somehow, the Foyer Marshal is supposed to be a national project. Even though the president came out the first time and said it was an international project, right? Then he later came back and ate his words and said, no, it's a national project. But we won't forget. We'll continue to voice it, we'll continue to talk about it, and we'll continue to move forward with what we want to do, what we need to do in the country. We want to urge the Liberian National Police, the National Security Agency, and all those, the LTA, immigration, customs, all those who are involved. Liberia deserves better. So let's continue trying. Now I want to swing the pendulum a little bit. Because you can talk about youth and then you can give, your input. So quite recently, we saw that the president was very concerned about University of Liberia. As far as he was concerned, he has signed a bill for the government to provide over $6 million for the renovation of certain parts of the university. What we will come to know is that, one, the money had not been released or made available. And two, that no projects have been started. So we got to know that. Apparently, it angered the president. He heard about the issue that was happening at the campus between the faculty staff and the administration. And so he intervened, he brokered a deal, and then everybody's supposed to go to work. Well, that needs to be seen yet. Right? It's left to be seen, and we will see what happens tomorrow. But what did we learn, though? We learned that Dr. Lester Tenney, Vice President for Finance, I believe, was forced to resign. Was that the result of the faculty staff? Was that a result of the administration? Did he do it of his own volition? Because maybe he felt he couldn't work effectively in the same capacity? We'll see what Dr. Tenney has to say for himself. We will see how that goes. But like I said, we'll keep pressing. Speaking about University of Liberia, According to President Bakpanya, the university is supposed to be opening pretty soon. And we'll see, if there's a delay, if people return to classes, we'll see how that goes. We'll continue to pray for our young people, our students, and hopefully they make the best choice. So, people, you have been listening to your humble host here, Michael Padmore, and this is Liberia Future TV, Monday edition. We are on Kia Radio, and we are coming to you in your bedrooms, in your living rooms, as well as all over social media. Quite recently, my people, news came out about the PHP Park. Now, we all know what the PHP Park is, right? So, there's the Invisible Park in Cinco there, right near Effie or Effie Shocker. That once upon a time used to be IE practice ground. And hence the word Invincible Park. It used to be IE practice ground. And for a long time. And then the government under George Weah decided they were going to develop that area. And they were going to build a park. And they were so pleased with how the park turned out, they decided they were going to build another park. And they picked, I believe that's represented Akara's Grace area, PHP. And so they're going to build another park there. And they did. So what's the issue now? The park is becoming dilapidated.
Sure.
The park is going into a state of decay. It's not being upkept.
Yeah.
What are we hearing from our government? We are hearing from our government that, the park was not given to us. The park was given to a private company. But you are the government. You are the government. And government is continuity. When it went to IMA, I think you're hearing talking about government and continuity. But when it's time to actually get business or do work and get work done, then they throw up their hands. What am I going to do? I thought government continuity. But we cannot let that park go to waste. For whatever reason. We cannot allow that to happen. You see, because our donor partners are watching. And when they see efforts being made by some people, and that is lacking, they'll say, we're not putting our money over there. People aren't serious. So it has far outreaching results. But let's not just stop to Invisible Park or PHP Park. I was driving through Congotown the other day, and I passed by what has become known as the OCDC headquarters. You guys remember that place? The Sycamore tree? And I was shocked with what's in the middle of the city. And the first thing that came to my mind was, wait now, the owner of the property could not wait to get CDC for only laying. And now we see nothing. Nothing at all. And how does that work? Why build it? Why break the buildings down? Why damage the structures? And then you didn't do anything about it. Now it just looks like an eyesore. The Liberian government, through the Ministry of Public Works, needs to cite the owner for that land and tell them straightforward. Either you develop the land or the government will take the land from you and
Sure.
give it somebody to develop. We're talking about sinkhole. No area alone there should be vacant with broken buildings. None. But once again, this is where we find ourselves, people. And so we have to remain vigilant of those things. We have to continue to remind our government about these things. So whether it is the Foya Mansion, whether it's about Yeke Koluba, whether it's about breaking down buildings and then not being prepared or just refusing to repair it, that should not fly. It should not. It shouldn't fly at all. But let's move on. I have one final topic for you guys. And at that time, after that, we'll try to launch one more time. See if we have other people coming on. We'll open up the conversation to see, if maybe that will get people thinking. And if that's not the case, then we'll go into our conclusion and we'll call it a day. Okay? But we'll definitely give it a try. So, one of the things I'm hoping I can do here is not just come on these radio waves every Monday and lodge complaints, but also that I can give some ideas to our young people. Ideas that they can use to help effect their own change. Because one of the things I learned when I left Liberia, one of the lessons that I learned when I left Liberia was that you are responsible for your future. You can say, well, my parents are supposed to educate me, they're supposed to send me to school, my parents will pay my school fee. Yes, it's reasonable to say that. But the ultimate burden falls on you. You are responsible for your future. The decisions you make, the way you apply yourself, the way you prepare yourself. When the opportunity opens, the way you defend it, you are responsible. Ultimately, you are responsible. So you can try to blame other people, but you are responsible. Excuse me. And when we start to embrace that, then we start to demand more from our leaders. So one of the things I'm hoping that I will be of help to people out there is, like, I personally believe the way out for most young people is not government job. And a representative job, and a senator job. You know how my former representative passing around Montreal broke? Broke. Very broke. That says, yeah, while they were there, they were in Ma. It says, yeah, fini, Ma fini. And I sincerely believe that that is not the way out for most people. Most of our young people, your way out of poverty, your way into the middle class is using your brain, innovation. That's your way out. Business, entrepreneurship. That's your way out. Learn a book, put it to practice, and you get out. Or you have a better chance of getting out. It is. Mark my words when I say this. People can help you along the way. People can give you some pointers. People can even lend you a hand. But when it all comes down to it, it's your responsibility. You have to be thoughtful with it. So one of the things I'm hoping to work on with you guys is giving you ideas. Giving you ideas and see what you can do with it. Okay? So we won't start it this week. We'll actually start it next week. But every single morning when I come on here, after we're done talking about politics, we're going to talk about current events, we'll talk about all the other things we'll talk about. We'll spend the last few minutes and I'll give you an idea that you can apply yourself. And you can start to turn your life around. And we'll discuss it. And after we discuss it, I'll give you an opportunity. You can call in, you can ask questions. Okay? And I will give you the answer to those questions. You know, you might say, oh, but how would I do this? How would this work? How would that work? And I'll give you those answers. And if I don't have an answer, we'll find an answer together. We will. But every morning you leave from here with some idea on how you can change your life. And it will not be impossible. It will not be expensive. It will not be expensive. Basic, simple things that if you can stick to, you will work it out. I met a friend of mine who was able to buy a motorbike, 2017. He bought a motorbike. Today, how long has it been? 9 years? Is it? 9 years. Right? He owns 7 motorbikes, two kekes, not 3. 2 kekes. And he's looking at to buy a taxi. There's a guy that started with one motorbike. I still remember 2017, I was in Liberia for campaign. And he had just bought a motorbike. And he kept confusing me. Uncle Mike, let me carry you. I said, I get on that motorbike, chief. Yeah, I'm riding that motorbike. But he's been focused enough. And he saved, and he built up. He got his second motorbike, and his third motorbike, and his fourth motorbike, and he got his chicken, and he got more motorbike. You know, it's exciting to me when I see young people develop like that. It's exciting to me. I think he paid a 7 something for that motorbike. 700 something now. In this way, and now you get people working for him. I was in abroad a few days. Yeah, I want to go visit him. He's sitting, he got a little office in your home. He has an office in your home. And now he's sitting there on the phone talking to the mechanic. And I could remember him as a younger man 9 years ago when he found monopoly. If it can happen for that man, it can happen for you. If it can happen for him, it can happen for you. You just have to ask yourself the question, are you ready for it? If the opportunity presents itself, will you take it? And that's where it all boils down to. So starting next week, we're not doing it this week. Starting next week, we'll discuss that every single time before I leave here. Okay, the young people will bless you with an idea how you can change your life one step at a time. At that point, the responsibility will be left for you. Is that something you can do or not do? And you go from there, right? So as we are swinging around and entering the home stretch here of our program, I want to take these last 20 minutes and just, for those of you who joined us late, right, to just kind of regurgitate on what we've talked about so that you don't miss anything. And then, who knows, I might even add to it. So the first thing we started talking about, we talked about patriotism. We talked about our flag, our colors, red, white, and blue. We talked about the making of the flag. We talked about the women that made the flag. I want to put a question out there, but I don't want people to go and Google it. I don't want for you to Google it. But I want to put a question on there. So I want to do it. I don't want nobody to Google it. Let's just discuss it. Okay? Let's just discuss it. I don't want nobody to Google it. Okay? Don't Google it. We're just going to discuss it, which are going to be, to be honest with you, are going to be easier. Okay? But we always talk about the flag. And when we talk about the flag, who was president at the time? Jose Jenkins Rahul had just declared president. The presidency had just declared the nation. And then he put these 7 women to task. And they brought the flag led by Susanna Lewis, right? Who was married to Jose Jenkins, who was married to Johnny Lewis. Okay, one of the founders of the nation, and whose sister was the president's wife. But they made the flag. The flag had 11 stripes, right? And what was it? Six red and 5 white. And then it had the blue field and the lone star in the middle. Now think about it for a second now. We're talking about 1847. But even in 1847, it was new around the world. There was no sovereign nation in Africa. And that's why these people were bold enough to say, boom, put the first flag, put the first star there. That in the dark continent of Africa, there's a sovereign nation. It's called Liberia. So, of course, the color red is for courage. The color white stands for purity. Like I said, the blue was for the dark continent of Africa, and the white was for the single nation. We talked about the ladies, right? Can't forget the ladies. Even way back then, the ladies were not sitting on the sidelines. They were involved in our beginnings. You always hear about the men name. Oh, Joseph Jimmy Rouse, Stevie Allen Benson, you go down that whole crazy song. You hear about, Hillary T, Lakiri, all the people there. And then you don't really hear about the women a lot. So big ups, big congrats to the ladies. Okay, whether it was Matilda Nipple, whether it was Susanna Lewis, Rachel Johnson, Mary Hunter, Cyril Draper, Colin Teach, and J.B. Rostrom that sat down and saw our flag and give us meaning. And then, of course, Evan Barkley, a young man, 19 years old, decided to pen the Lone Star Forever. If I have voice, I was singing for him. I don't get voice. No, the fear, no. I don't get voice. But we have all heard of, and if you have not heard about it, if you have not heard the Lone Star Forever, get your phone, Google it. The Lone Star Forever by Edwin James Barkley. And read the verses. To hear it is one thing. But when you read the verses of that song, it's powerful. Very powerful. But we talked about that. We talked about the ladies. We talked about, hoisting the flag. We talked about the Lone Star Forever. We talked about what was the name of the president again? Daniel E. Howard, 1915, that declared Flag Day a national holiday. And since that day, for 111 years, Liberia has celebrated August 24th, Flag Day. Over the years, it evolved into what? Into young people coming out, hoisting the flag, marching through BTC, whatever ROTC or other subject matter. But it gave young people the sense of pride when they did this. And then, of course, we talk about the controversial idea. Even though we didn't get any calls, that's fine. It's totally fine, People don't want to. I know there are people out there that are talking about this, but for some reason they've chosen not to discuss it today. That's fine. It's okay. Maybe we'll discuss it another day. But there are people out there who believe that their ancestors were not part of the formation of the flag, that they are not represented in the flag. And because of that, they believe the flag should be changed. So that, bro, no longer be called a Lone Star. Won't change the flag. Our colors will no longer be red, white, and blue. I don't know how many of you, but I remember as a young guy coming up, going to SKE to see the Lone Star play, to see Joia play, to see, our star, whether at James Anissa Diba, Agre, Sima Method, Washington Blake, you can go down the whole list of people there. And wearing those colors, red, white, and blue. Very unique. But I remember us doing that and being very proud of our nation. And so therefore, are we going to change the flag? Are we going to change the colors? Are we going to change the seal? Are we going to go until we change the country, the name of the country? Liberia, the land of liberty. We don't know. We'll see what happens. But we'll continue to work on it. What I will tell people is that this call about the flag is nothing new. 1974, President William R. Tolbert sensed the same uneasiness that some people felt like, look, the flag, like, yeah, one group of people that decided, and if we are going to be one nation, then we all need to lend our voice. We all need to have the opportunity to contribute to the formation of what should represent us. And so, President William R. Tubman commissioned, this group called Commission on National Unity, right? Was headed by Mac Tissue. It's called the Tissue Commission. And they went back and forth, they went back and forth, they went back and forth for 4 years. 1978, they finally came on and said, no, we'll leave the flag the way it is. Once more, this conversation has started again. I was hoping I could get some people in to talk about it, but it's okay. We are still here. We still have many Mondays to interact. Maybe we'll bring it up again. Maybe the holiday is not the right day to talk it. Since we're celebrating this flag, let's not talk about another flag right now. Let's just talk about this one.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we'll talk about the other one. Okay. But those were not the only, flags that have come up during our time. Each county has a flag. The first original counties had their flags. And as we have added more counties, we have added more flags. And so when we celebrate Flag Day, we have to remember, we are talking about the national flag. But the national flag get children, it get baby, right? 15 other baby there. And so it's always good to recognize those. It's really, really good. One of the things we can be proud of is that we do not stand under a colonial flag. One of the things we'll be proud of is that the flag was created by Liberians in a sovereign nation. Let me say this one more time. The flag was created by Liberians. Liberia declared its independence July 26, 1847. From that day, hence, moving forward, if you stayed in the territorial boundaries of this land called Liberia, you were recognized as a Liberian. If they had created a flag in June or July, at that time, they wouldn't have been able to call themselves Liberians. But because they created the flag after the 26th of July, we can boldly say that those people, that the flag was created by Liberians. We can say that. And then, of course, we had our war, we had our back and forth. And now we are here. And we've celebrated Flag Day, August 24th, 2026. Right? And we've been checking the time, checking the length of time. What brings to mind is we've been here a long time. Are we satisfied with how far we are as a nation? We have the oldest flag on the continent. We have the oldest flag among much of the world. But are we satisfied? Are we okay with where we've come? Do we believe that Liberia deserves better? Is that what we believe? Then what are we prepared to do if indeed Liberia deserves better? What are we prepared to do? Do we just sit and complain? Or do we take action? Do we put our foot down? Do we make better demands? What are we prepared to do? As we start another 365 days to get to the next flag day. What indeed are we prepared to do to get there? We have to continue to ask ourselves these questions, especially the young people. Especially the young people. As you are faced with numerous challenges, economic, health-wise, future-wise, as you face all these enormous challenges, what are you prepared to take? What are you prepared to accept? What are you prepared to fight for? What are you prepared to do? To my young people out there, whether you're lucky enough to have parents that can afford something, send you to school, you count every day rest in the car, or whether you're 16, 17 years old, you're living on your own. Or even though you're in your parents' house, but the parent boy every day, maybe they can go on Sunday. The rest of the time, everybody for themselves. Wherever you find yourself, wherever you find yourself, you have to ask yourself the question, am I okay with my situation? And I tell you now, if you are not okay with your situation, then you must start to retrain your thinking to make better decisions for yourself. And those better decisions must begin with how you approach the leadership of your country, how you pick your leaders. How do they represent you? Does your representative listen to you? Does your senator care what is happening to you? What you are going through? The condition of your school, the condition of the local clinic. Because if they don't, then my friend, you have a responsibility to not vote for them again. You have a responsibility to kick them out and bring somebody else in that will do those things. And if you fail to do that, then you must ask yourself, how do you expect change to come? For the last 23 years, Liberia has been seized under siege by two political parties. It is very, very easy to conclude Because both of these parties have failed our people. They have failed our people. There's no reason why any one of them deserve another term in office. There's none. Look, the people, our people that birthed this nation, that carried this nation from year to year, decade to decade, generation to generation, they overcame immense challenges to bring us here. The least we can do is to vote good people into office. You let nobody tell you, oh, that you're trouble man. Oh, you know, I let that man, I just let him business. Don't let nobody tell you that. Don't let nobody tell you the man get a country at heart. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, the man, oh, so he need anything. Look at your own condition. Ask yourself the question, can you bear this for another 6 years? I will always tell me I've been around a long time. After this election, after this particular election, by the time the next election comes, yeah, I'll be retired from working. That is my plan. It's not like, oh, whatever. No, that's just my plan. From the time I was a young man, I know I wanted to work that I turned to old person. I wanted to still have my energy, my enthusiasm, and to walk away from the workforce, And once that's something I decided to do, it's something that has been purposeful, marching in step. And so I'm on course. You are just beginning your life. Are you on course? If not, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Your future is in your hands. Stop voting the people into office that do nothing for you. Stop voting these people into office that celebrate the groundbreaking of toilets, of public toilets. This day, 2026, in Liberia, the president going to dedicate public toilet. I mean, if somebody had told me that, if I didn't see it with my own eye, I was never going to believe it. I was never going to believe it. That our president will stop his busy day from what he's doing to go and dedicate a public toilet. I would never have believed it. What has this world come to? What are we doing with ourselves on this Flag Day? What are we thinking as a nation that we are celebrating public toilet? Shouldn't we be celebrating that every single house in Liberia get their own bathroom in their own home? Isn't that what we should be celebrating? Instead of we are celebrating public toilet. So on this August 24th, my people, as we wrap this up, as I thank you for sticking with me for these 2 hours, I want to end with this. On this August 24th, 2026, stop for a second. Take a look in the mirror at yourself, young people, and ask yourself the question, are you where you want to be? Are you okay with your situation? And if not, begin to make that change. Begin to make that change. My brother Tuzon, I want to thank you so much for producing today. I want to appreciate you, man. I hope you have a quiet rest of your holiday.
Yeah.
Yes, the weather has improved. You're the people that come outside now, so the weather has improved.
Yeah, much better.
I hope you enjoy your holiday, man. I wish I was there to celebrate with you.
Okay.
But next year, this time, I promise you, we'll do that together. You and I.
All right, I believe it.
Have a great evening to all our listeners out there and our people on social media. Have a safe time. This is Mike Padmore, your humble host, LIB Future TV, Monday edition. Saying a great good night to you, and we'll see you again next week.
You're welcome. Thank you.
LIB, stand up. Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.